If I want to plop down on my mat and meditate, I can. I don't have to wait for someone to give me permission to talk to my God, if you will. I don't have to wait for somebody to read something from a book to have a conversation with my God. I can take responsibility of it myself and just do it and just own it. And whatever message I get, whatever feelings I feel, whatever energy comes from that, it's mine, and it's mine to take out into the world and create good things. So from a spiritual aspect, that's what I've gathered.
Awesome. One of the reasons I was really drawn to interview you is because we have a similar background. I don't teach yoga, but I do teach group fitness. And a lot of times when I close the class, I kind of do something that's kind of a yoga thing. I have them celebrate their work. I had them reflect on the fact that they pushed through the pain and they made it happen. And what are some of the things that you do in your yoga class? I know in the times that I've gone to yoga, it was very peaceful for me, and it was very affirming of, the things that I was trying to do, like with back pain and things that I was dealing with. So a lot of people are drawn to yoga classes because of that wisdom and because of that positive reinforcement. So what are some things that we can see or experience in Ashley's yoga class if we attend it?
Well, in my class, I promise you it will be solidly soulful. One of the things that I like to do is to play non-traditional yoga music. I have a running joke that I have a trap music yoga class, and it is the most ratchet, ridiculous playlist ever. But people love it because you come in, and what it does is it breaks down those barriers of what yoga should be, of what you should be when you come to class. So it instantly makes it comfortable, inviting space and place. Now, of course, I make sure it's censored because you don't want to offend anyone. But the idea is to break down those barriers so you can come as you are and come and enjoy class. So when you step into a yoga class with me, it is definitely soulful. It is about you, the student, digging into and getting into whatever you need to work through and work out. If it's something in your shoulder, if it's something in the lower back, if it's something in your hip, whatever that something may be, I'm there to help you facilitate working through that. It may not always be comfortable. I can almost bet you at least $50 it won't be comfortable.
Right.
But we're here to work through it together. And that's what I'm there to facilitate. So it'll be soulful. It'll be empowering. It will be impactful. One of the things that I like to do at the beginning of class, and this is something that I was taught through my yoga teacher training, is to set your intentions. What do you want to get out of this experience, out of this hour that you've plucked out of the 24 for yourself? What are you looking to get, and what are you looking to gain? And you might not be looking for anything. You might just want quiet. You might just want peace.
Exactly.
You might just want to not have to think about anything that you did that day or any of the responsibilities that you were doing at home. Those are what I like to call escape yoga classes. I like to attend those too when my to-do list doesn't matter. What's going on with my children don't matter. What's going on with my spouse doesn't matter. I'm just there for Ashley, and we get on the mat, power it through, work it out, and we keep on keeping on. So in my class, it's soulful, it's intention-based, it's empowering, it's giving you the space, giving you a safe space to connect to the person that you are. Those are the things that you can expect. And maybe a little ratchet playlist, maybe some Wind and Fire. It might be a little gospel, but it will be something that sets your soul on fire at bare minimum.
That is amazing. The people listening in are probably curious about yoga, or they may even be veterans at yoga already. So for, both audiences, the newbie as well as the more experienced, share some benefits with yoga. And even for veterans, tell them some things, give them a paradigm shift or a new perspective on how they can approach their yoga practice to keep it more fresh and exciting for them. And even for the newbies who are curious about it, but they may be intimidated, maybe they're not flexible enough, maybe they think, the class is too difficult. How can you ease their mind a little bit and get them onto the mat?
Well, what I can say is if you're new, you're in the best position ever because you can take what is called the beginner's mind to the practice. It's you don't know what you don't know. Right. So if your downward dog isn't the most beautiful thing in the world, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If your high plank is a little sketchy, the teacher is there to fix it. If you're hanging in your shoulders in your cobra, that's okay. We're there to fix it. For those who have been doing it for a while, I implore you to step into a class that you may not have taken before, that you may not have, with an instructor that you may not have experienced before, and take that beginner's mind with you. This is one of the things that I am guilty of as a teacher, and I have to do better at, so that's why I'm giving you this advice, because it's advice for me as well. To take the beginner's mind with me when I go and take someone else's class. I have 2 yoga instructors that I love, and I have a tendency to go to their classes all the time. But for me, I need to branch out and see other classes, not only so I can glean different things from different teachers, but it'll also aid in shifting my perspective for what I've been learning in front of the same people for so long. So if you're new to it, be new to it. Embrace your newness. Love it. Ask questions at the beginning and at the end of class if you're in a studio that welcomes that. The other thing I'll say to beginners is, if you get to a class and a pose comes up that does not feel good in your body, and the teacher does not offer you some sort of modification, don't do it. Don't do it. You control what happens on that mat. You're responsible for keeping yourself safe. It makes me not love the fact that the teacher didn't give you a modification, and that's a lot of times why people don't go back to yoga, because it's too hard in the beginning. But don't let that deter you. Either take another class or take one with a different instructor, and be willing and be ready to speak your piece about whatever your needs are. Be willing to express your needs. If you have knee pain, if you have shoulder pain, if you have back pain, don't be afraid to tell the instructor that, because if they're doing plow, which is your feet are up in the air and you're up to your feet are over your head, but while laying on the floor, and you have cranky shoulders or something to that effect where that pressure up here is painful, don't do it. Don't do it. Ask for a modification. And for those who have been at this for a while, my advice to you is, if you're like me and you've gotten to the zone where you take the same 2 people's classes all the time, go to a different class. Take the beginner's mind with you. If you've always done hatha, take an Ashtanga class. It will change your life.
I bet it will.
that is power yoga at its best. It will change your life. Take a yin class that is slow going. It will change your perspective. Sometimes it's just a matter of that, just investing with a different instructor, getting in front of a different instructor to be able to access that beginner's mind and change your perspective, or broaden the perspective that you had before.
Awesome. Now, at the start of the interview, you did tell us a little bit about your book as well as your yoga retreat, but give us a little bit more details for the listeners on how they can tap into that. How can they get signed up? Can they be on a waiting list to check out your book? Just give us some details about that.
The waiting list for the book will be available. To get on the waiting list for the book, all you have to do is info me, Lord have mercy. All you have to do is email me at info. That's a sentence we were trying to create.
Right.
Email me, info@ashleynicoleadams.com, subject line book, and I will make sure you get all of the information for the release. And then for Costa Rica, if you go to Costa Rica Retreat 17, you can see the different price points for that. As I said, $350 is general admission. $1,500 if you want to go on the volcano excursion and the waterfall excursion. Get access to the 5 speakers that'll be there, in addition to have all your meals included at the resort. All your lodging is included at that price point. And what else am I forgetting? Oh, and then there's a buffet lunch that's available at the waterfall garden as well on that excursion. And then for those who want to be speakers, we have a speakers package that's available. That's $3,500. You get 2 tickets to Costa Rica, an hour-long interview on the Corporate Yogini podcast, 3 sponsored episodes of the Corporate Yogini, a professional photo shoot, and then you get an opportunity to be in 2 publications that'll be produced during the retreat, featured into those 2 publications that'll be that'll be produced during the retreat. And that's only for $3,500. So it's a really, really good deal, an opportunity to get some exposure, opportunity to get in front of people that you may not reach when it comes to wellness. The other thing that you can do is we're going to sell live stream tickets as well. So those of you who can't get there in person, you can see Paradise via live stream. You can participate in the yoga classes because those will be live stream as well. So we'll have tickets for that. And the retreat isn't until November 2nd. We leave November 2nd to head off to Costa Rica. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that. Where else you can find all of this information is Facebook, of course. I'm Ashley Nicole Adams on Facebook. You can find it on Twitter, Ashley N as in Nicole, Adams 1 and the number 1. Same on Instagram, same on Periscope. And that's it. Those are all of my handles. I do Snap, but my Snap is personal. It's one of the few ones that I don't share. I got to keep something for myself. And then, of course, you can catch me on the Corporate Yogini podcast, where I share all things yoga and business and in between. Every once in a while, you get a good quality rant episode about what's going on in my life. But those are pretty much places that you can find me.
I want to ask you, share with us a quote that has been profound in your eyes, and also explain to us the meaning of the quote from your perspective.
I got 2 for you.
Okay.
This is something I was thinking about today. So the first one is, nobody is coming, God sent you.
Wow.
And then the second one is, when people show you who they are, believe them. The first one, I don't know who to credit it to. I'm sorry, I'd have to look. I can send you that later. And then the second one is Maya Angelou. So the first one is, nobody is coming, God sent you. For me, I spent a lot of time looking for a savior for whatever it was that I wanted to do, somebody to prop me up and bolster me and keep me going and be my cheerleader. And eventually I realized that, I can do those things on my own, that I don't need, 20 people behind me cheering me on, being my own fan club. I can do that myself.
Right, exactly.
And that I can push my business forward, that I can push myself forward, that I can move my family forward, and that I can do it on my own terms. And the best part about it is, I don't have to answer to anyone. I'm good enough. I am enough to answer to myself. I don't have to check in with the Amen choir, as they say. So exactly. I can be my own person. And then secondly, when people show you who they are, believe them. How do I say this? There are many times where you give people many of chances, as opposed to just accepting them for what they're worth, because either we like to color who they are, or we just don't want it to be that way. Shonda Rhimes talks about in her book, Year of Yes, how she talks about putting story on something. So adding story to what this person is, creating an avatar as opposed to seeing them for what and who they are. And there's a lot of times that we do that as a coping mechanism for ourselves, so we can feel better about whatever the situation is. Because then we can go, well, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I never knew so-and-so was racist. I never knew so-and-so was hateful. I never knew. Yes, you did. Right. They show you this on a regular basis. You just opted not to take them at their word. So that's why when people show you who they are, believe them has resonated so much with me. Because sometimes I'm guilty of giving people the benefit of the doubt well over and beyond where I should have. Then I'm the one who harbors resentment, which is ridiculous, because had I owned it from the beginning, I could have taken responsibility for the situation and put a stop to it. But I gave my power away to them, and I allowed their behavior to continue. So then it creates this cycle of acceptance and allowance. But all of that is on me. It's not on them. So again, when people show you who they are, believe them. And that doesn't make you bad. That just means that you listen for a change, because I'm a little hard-headed too.
Exactly. Well, Ashley, this has been amazing. You are an amazing woman. I am so thankful that you granted Squat Wisely a few minutes of your time today. You have imparted wisdom. You have given us insights on how to get in touch with you. And I am very confident that anyone who takes a class under your leadership, they will walk away feeling at peace and very, very zen. So thank you so much for your time today, Ashley.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm so grateful that I was able to be here with you. And I thank you for holding space for me and sharing your podcast.
Well, the pleasure was all mine. I hope the pleasure was all yours as well for those who were listening.